Hi, this is Luca Giaroli. I'm Italian and I work with DirectOut since almost 8 years. DirectOut is from Germany, so we are a European company having different contributions from all over the world. Myself, I grew up in a family of musicians. My father was an orchestra conductor and a choir conductor. My brother is, again, an orchestra conductor, a pianist. So since I was a kid, I was surrounded by music. Music was in the air. And when I was young, I started to have my own rock band and stuff like that. So I grew up in this industry, and all of a sudden, I found myself much more intrigued by the technology behind the music rather than the music itself. I'm a kind of a decent amateur player of saxophone. I'm an amateur singer, but I am much more famous around the world for my technical background rather than as a musician. And I am known as the father of the PRODIGY MP. Yes, all over the world I'm known as Mr. Redundancy. Well, it's a kind of a long story, but if we want to make it short, everything started when quite young. I was 36 years old. At that time, I was working for another German company called Optocore, and I've been appointed as the responsible for the design and the management of the Olympic Games opening and closing ceremony in Beijing. When I was there, Gary Hardesty, which was the big boss of the audio design, told me, Luca, whatever happens, you need to have your optical rig, working anyway. We are doing an Olympic game and we cannot fail. And I said, come on, Gary, it's impossible. You cannot say whatever happens. And this is when I understood that if Gary, even Gary, who was at that time number one in the world for system design, was not able to give me a detailed description of what he meant with whatever happens, I understood that in our industry, a kind of manual or standard or way of describing redundancy was there. So once finished the Olympic Games, once back to Italy, I started to work on a document, on a method to describe what means redundancy in our world. And since that day, since I also did a final university dissertation about the redundancy in audio design, I started to talk about redundancy with everyone. And I'm famous for my redundant design. Recently, also Eurovision Song Contest, the Jubilee, and stuff like that. So whoever knows me as Mr. Redundancy for that reason. My journey with DirectOut actually started the very early days of DirectOut. DirectOut has been founded around 2010, something like that. And at that time, I was working for an Italian distributor. And with that Italian distributor, we were looking for a MADI sample rate converter unit. And we ended up in finding this new German company producing this MADI sample rate converter. This is when I had the first occasion to get in touch with the DirectOut people. All of them are still there. So I got in touch with Stefan Flock, one of the founder of the company, Claudio Beckerfoss, the current CTO of the company. And I started to distribute DirectOut product in Italy, and I did that for several years. Then, after a while, when I had some ideas about a potential new processor, I thought about who could have been the best technological partner to have my ideas seeing the light. This is when I went back to DirectOut people, and I offered them the possibility to cooperate to do what became the PRODIGY MP. DirectOut as a company today is quite a different company from the very early days. DirectOut had an impressive evolution all over the years. Even if the company started as a very small manufacturer of little utility products, such as MADI sample rate converter, MADI router, media converter, and stuff like that, especially in the last 8 years, and probably it's not a coincidence, since I and my colleague Lorenzo joined the company, we started to bring inside new ideas, and those new ideas have been enhanced by the entire DirectOut group. Basically, what we changed is the idea of stop thinking in terms of products and thinking in terms of audio solution, which is not just juggling with words from the marketing point of view. We've been convinced, thanks to the success of the PRODIGY MP, that the idea of having one little product for one little problem to be solved is not the modern way to approach the market, but it's much better to have a very wide range of tools which can be customized, adapted for the everyday challenge. And therefore, we shift our paradigm from a single product, so one little box doing just one thing, to something which is much more flexible. That's the reason why now we are thinking in terms of smart platforms, a lot of accessories, a lot of different modules. So the modularity starts from the hardware, where you can combine one smart platform or several smart platforms together with different modules to accommodate, for example, mic pre's, line level, MADI input and output, Dante, Ravenna, Sangrid, Milan, any sort of media and audio format. But on top of that, we also extended modularity to the software, to the firmware, to the fact that you can deal with several control protocols. You can create a lot of different user experience, just changing the software, combine different software, and on top of that, adding, add-on or option which are completing the audio solution. So we strongly believe in DirectOut that the good old days of a single product for a single task is over. It's old-fashioned. We are strongly believing in something which is continuously evolving, future-proof, fighting against the obsolescence of the audio gear. And if our customers are following us in this journey, they will benefit from the fact that their investments are safe, are well done, because what they invest today can be used today and for the years to come, and can be enhanced with other gear and expanding the audio solution. And the idea of that is to create a partnership with the customers rather than the typical relationship between a supplier and a customer. We know that their challenges are changing every day. The world is changing fast. Their activities are evolving, so they need also to have the same help from DirectOut. So DirectOut is a very modern and flexible company committed to audio, and is a very good candidate to become what in the IT world is known as single point of truth. We want to be the single point of truth of audio. So whenever you have to connect, control, convert, well then DirectOut is having a solution for you. Yeah, the fact that we are thinking about in terms of audio solutions is giving us the possibility to address more than one vertical market. So when we design a new platform, a new module, we don't think about specifically a vertical market. So we don't just think live or playback guys or broadcaster or system integrator, whether they are SI for commercial, corporate, or broadcast. We are thinking about what is missing in our portfolio of solutions. This is a great advantage because then we don't think that you can offer a generic solution. Generic solution is not satisfying anyone. Something which is okay is not something for professionals. So it's the other way around. Since we can really be precise and offering a lot of different options, the user itself, with our help, can really customize and personalize the experience they need. That's the reason why we could be very successful in the top tier live touring in the world. We are serving successfully Coldplay, Rammstein, Taylor Swift for the playback rig, for example, and name all the major names around the world. But at the same time, we serve the BBC or Sky, Sky News in Australia, Sky in Italy, Rai Television, national TVs, which is a completely different market. The broadcast market, although it's audio, is having a completely different workload, a completely different requirement. But thanks to the fact that we can really customize the user experience with layers which are not on the hardware layer, but on the user experience layer, using different protocols, different software, different approach, we can really please, at best, a lot of different diversified kind of customers. But the good thing is that they are, all of them, no matter if they are from the live industry, the playback industry, or the broadcast industry, they are really at the top level and they are really professional. And this is very much what we are particularly proud about. It is true. I mean, the Prodigy MP has been, conceived by myself, and I put my entire career, my entire experience in designing and, thinking about that device. It's clear that the Prodigy MP doesn't have just one father or one parent. I've been the one putting all the ideas on the table, but it's clear that I had, the occasion to receive the help and the cooperation of other people inside of DirectOut. But it's clear that with the Prodigy MP, we started a new era of, thinking about audio solutions. And that's the breakthrough that the Prodigy MP represented. It's, for the first time, not any longer a product, but a tank of audio solution, a container of audio solutions. Although I feel like the father of the Prodigy MP, it's clear that after the Prodigy MP, all the other smart platforms that followed, such as the Prodigy MX, the Maven, and a new, smaller, portable platform that maybe not any longer my direct, son, but they are nephews of the Prodigy's MPs, like that. Let's put it that way. So yes, I can be considered the father of the Prodigy MP, but I can tell you I'm not the only parent of that device. It's been a great teamwork, and I couldn't have done anything by myself. Well, I can definitely suggest the usage and the deployment of Prodigy's MPs and Prodigy MX, Maven, to a very wide range of customers. Thanks to the modularity of the hardware, and thanks to the fact that the license are free meaning you can freely decide what kind of license you want to use, they can serve a very vast majority of the customers from the live industry, the playback industry, the fixed installation, whether it is corporate or commercial, and broadcast as well. So combining different modules for analog, MyPre's, line out, line in, AES, 3 input and output, MADI input and output of any flavor, optical coaxial, or Ravenna, Dante, SoundGrid, Milan AVB, we can really serve any sort of audio requirement, and adding the capabilities of the DSP, such as delay, Q, dynamic, auto mix, matrix mixing, summing buses, mix minus, we can cover any sort of audio requirement, and we can connect any input to any output. We can route any input to any output. You can media convert any audio source format from format A, B, C, and D. You can reclock things. You can sample rate convert it. So there's nothing that we cannot do from the audio point of view. So I definitely recommend the deployment of our smart platform, whether they are Maven and Prodigy. Last but not least, the customers who are investing in our audio solution and in our smart platforms, they know that the modules are interchangeable. So the same modules that you can use inside of a Maven, the day after can be extracted from Maven and inserted in the Prodigy MP and Prodigy MX and MC, vice versa. So it's really a flexible ecosystem which is serving a very large range of audio customers. We are aiming to the professionals, no matter which is the dimension of the professional, starting from private playback guys, freelance engineers, all the way up to the biggest corporation in the world, the biggest touring companies or the biggest broadcaster. We have the right solution for every budget and for every dimension. The vision and the future for DirectOut is been already clear. We already gave a lot of indication to all our customers, distributors, partners around the world. We simply want to keep going on having our mind wide open to any new requirement, new protocol, opportunities, new challenges. We will keep expanding the portfolio of our audio solution, adding hardware wherever needed, protocols wherever needed, and software and options wherever needed. So I think that our future is clear. It's clear for us. It's clear for our customer. The companies keep expanding in terms of turnover, number of employees, number of collaborators, number of distributors, number of customers. So the growth of DirectOut in the last 8 years has been great, and we don't have any intention to slow it down.